The term sides is a relatively new one,
Hmm.
and that refers to men that don't like penetrative sex.
Yeah.
So this has obviously existed since the dawn of time, but
Yeah.
now we've just given it a name. Is this something that you see is becoming more spoken about with gay men?
Yes, and I think it's helping us. So sometimes as the gay in the gay community, we can get really focused on what the definition of sex is.
Yeah,
But if we can again expand it and be more open-minded, sex could be making out with somebody and rubbing their dick in a really fun, erotic way. It could be blowjobs. It could be anal sex. Like if we expand the definition of sex, it gives us all more options on the table. And there are definitely people who just really don't like anal sex.
yeah.
For them, that's a break. And that's great. I mean, it's so awesome that you know that about yourself, and that then hopefully you can have better sex and you can have better sex with your partners.
Yeah, because some people would go, "Oh, you didn't actually have sex; you just gave them a blowjob." When actually, that's quite infuriating if you don't like anal sex, because then you feel what you're doing isn't worthy enough of being called sex, or you're not actually having proper sex.
Yeah. Sex, I mean, the definition of sex can be so wide. And if we would just expand it and have more nuanced conversations as a community, I think we could all have better sex, which I think is what we all want, right?
Yeah, totally as well. And it takes the pressure off your relationship, because if you're let's you know talk honestly, anal sex, there's preparation involved
Hmm.
quite often, and you have to be in maybe the right mood for it and the right setting. So if that doesn't align all the time and take the pressure off that, then just giving each other a hand job is equally as satisfying sometimes, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, why not? Right. And it can be a really connecting erotic experience. And it can just, if you're used to only having anal sex, if you give yourself the assignment to just try hand jobs and maybe even watch porn together, then you're having a new experience, which can add some more flavor and excitement into the relationship.
Yeah. I suppose pressure is a huge thing that can affect a couple's sex life, right?
Yeah. I mean, pressure is like oil and water for sex. So if we add pressure into the system, it's going to make the sex life for most people less exciting.
Yeah. But pressure could come from yourself, not from your partner.
Yes.
So if you're not, the unspoken pressure would be that you've noticed that you're not having as much sex as you would like or your partner wants. So therefore you're putting pressure on yourself to perform. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. And so, if you're feeling a lot of pressure, then I mean, that's really got to be addressed, because if not, like the more pressure that you add to a system, we know in sex therapy, it's going to make sex less and less and less pleasing for a lot of people.
How can you, what would you say to a couple then if one person was feeling particularly under pressure, whether it's just their own internal pressure, how can they just chill? How can they calm down? And what tools can they do with each other that can help?
One intervention that happens a lot in sex therapy is like, okay, just why don't you make a commitment that the next time that you have a sexual experience together, you're going to take orgasm off the table. Because so often we get into only orgasm focused sex.
Okay.
And there are some people that over the lifespan, like you could have a health condition, like there's lots of stuff that could impact being able to have an orgasm. And so if only orgasm focused sex is what turns you on, then that can add a lot of pressure. And so can we just have a sexual experience where we're not going to focus on the orgasm? If it happens, great, but like that is not the goal of the experience today.
And also just slow down,
Yeah.
which goes back to your point, because the orgasm is kind of, let's get to the orgasm as quick as possible, because that's kind of the main event.
Yeah.
Whereas if you remove that, you could spend hours just touching each other.
Hmm. Yeah. Just having like a really erotic, pleasurable experience.
Yeah.